Boop. Let's see. Full shift.
Hello. We are here. I'm Chris Remo. This is Sean Vanneman, and we are here with Steve Hot Scoops Gaynor.
Hey.
Who is the writer and designer of the BioShock 2 DLC Minerva's Den, which came out in, what, 2010?
Yeah.
And he is going to be playing it for you and talking about it.
It's true.
Yep.
We're going to watch. I like to watch. Just so you know.
Sean likes to watch.
Yeah, now all of you know. Everyone out there on the internet is aware. It's not weird.
No, it's not.
Good. Okay, so the stream is over. Guys.
Hope you enjoyed Minerva's Den.
Yeah, so let's see. All right. We do some things.
You can just click on it. Hey, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
no, I was just switching to this guy. Yeah.
I gotcha. Cool.
Right. So yeah, Minerva's Den was a separate side story for BioShock 2 that came out, in 2010. And we're going to try and play all the way through it today. Normally it takes a few hours to get through, but I know my way around.
So for somebody who maybe played Bio 1 but didn't play Bio 2, where does this situate between 1 and 2 and Minerva's Den on a timeline?
So Minerva's Den is parallel to the events of BioShock 2.
Cool.
So like BioShock 1 took place in 1960, and BioShock 2 takes place a number of years later, and Minerva's Den is basically what else was happening in another part of the city during the events of BioShock 2. So it's kind of like after the beginning but before the end of that game. And yeah, the premise for BioShock 2, as far as who you are and what the conflict is that you play as basically like a prototype version of a Big Daddy. Like an earlier version of the Big Daddy, they had more freedom essentially and more ability to like use plasmids and stuff. And the versions that you saw in BioShock that you fight against are basically like more locked down, like slaves, you know.
Right.
And so you played as Subject Delta in BioShock 2, which is one of these that has been like given back control of their ability to like make decisions for themselves. And in Minerva's Den, you play as Subject Sigma, who was a prototype that was deployed to another part of the city,
Cool.
where the computerization of Rapture was housed.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'll start us off and get us through the intro, and then we can
Cool.
talk through.
You guys aren't using this controller, right?
Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna unplug this because I don't want it to get ripped out.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Someone's asking if Minerva ever came out on PC.
We're playing it on PC. Minerva's Den is available on PC. It's only available from Games for Windows Live, which means you can buy BioShock 2 on Steam.
I'm just gonna eat and watch.
That's fine. Just get your Smuckers on.
Camera's not on, is it?
Oh, it is.
Oh.
Smuckers. Minerva's Den. Yeah, you can buy BioShock 2 on Steam and then open up the downloadable content menu in the game to buy Minerva's Den from Games for Windows Live. All right, let's see. Yes. Oops. Full screen.
Did you just lose your silly mind when you started seeing cards being created?
I actually did. I lost it.
You're like,
well, because it's one of the first things you think of. You're like,
Right.
what are computers in Rapture? Oh, punch cards. Oh man, right. And
Right.
our UI designer and artist Jim Ingraham.
good man, Jim Ingraham. I worked with him for a brief time.
Like one day, you know, we had the music for the beginning of this thing. And one day, I just came by his desk and he's like, "Oh, I made this little animation. Go with it." I'm like, "Fucking sweet."
Please, you're accustomed to shooters, Steve.
I don't need to get pwned. Not during a live stream. Not during a live stream. Yeah, we were lucky. We didn't get any new music for Minerva's Den, but there were a number of licensed tracks that we'd gotten for BioShock 2 that never made it into the game.
Oh, awesome.
So we got to use a few of those that people hadn't gotten to hear before, including, I believe, this one.
The joys of working on a giant sequel to a super successful franchise is there is unused licensed music.
You've got a lot
around.
to play with.
And when did this come out? And when did you work on it?
I worked on it in 2009, 2010, and it came out in 2010.
Subject Sigma is approaching Minerva's Den. He must not reach the
I mean, it comes through, all throughout.
Did you invent the word Minerva?
I just started writing letters, and that seemed like a good combination. But all the areas, all the districts of Rapture are named after Greek and Roman gods. And yeah, so knowing that this is going to be the computer center of Rapture, Minerva, the goddess of wisdom, seemed like an appropriate thing to
Yeah, it's awesome.
to put on all the
It also just sounds good. It's nice when names that mean things actually just sound nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minerva's Den is a good cadence to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that you have to think of.
Starfish.
It's stuck to your
You gotta get
visor.
that guy
I
off.
give it Starfish, friend.
It makes a little suction cup sound. I really like it. There's so many things to think about when you're naming something. You have to think about how it sounds, what other ways you can say it, and what it means
What
and
will
everything.
people's actual associations be?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm horrible at naming things. I think that's probably why I'm so impressed by the name Minerva.
Yeah. So like,
The Walking Dead is pretty good. Did you come up with that?
Yeah, I was after some time.
so right at the beginning, this is one of the things like in BioShock 1, you start with like where you go underwater and like swim to the surface, and then just goes into gameplay without really announcing it. So here, if you just sit here, the game leaves you alone. But yeah, you have control now, and you have fallen out of that tunnel and been revived.
I love how the underwater stuff looked in this game.
Yeah, it was one of the things that we discovered was that all of this like krill and stuff, all of this like sediment is what makes it feel like you're underwater. Otherwise, you just feel like it's air around it. But when you see stuff floating, you're like, oh, I'm surrounded by a substance. All right.
Hello, Mr. Sigma? Can you hear me? The name's Porter. Charles Milton Porter. Doc Tenenbaum tells me you're here to help us get the Thinker out of Rapture. It's not going to be easy, but nothing worth doing ever is. You should be able to get inside through an airlock.
So yeah, that is your introduction to your guide character in Minerva's Den, who is Charles Milton Porter. Here's my advice to someone who is naming characters for anything. Give them one name. Because speaking of having to come up with something that sounds good and makes sense and everything, the guy's name is Charles Milton Porter, which has to sound good when you say it. It's also C.M. Porter. Also, his wife refers to him as Milton. Also, like people have to just call him Porter. So like
people on the team love that.
Don't have to come up.
The UI art is wrong here. This should be Milton. Oh, you mean C.M. Porter? Oh no, he means Charles Milton Porter.
Oh, you mean you mean Porter? Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. Don't make it so you have to come up with 4 good names. Make one good name. Let's see. What's that look like? Big game, small game. All right. So yeah, I'm going around. I know where all the secret stuff is.
That sick atom is.
Yeah, there's all these atom slugs that are clinging to the rocks and whatnot outside of Rapture. Atom, if you haven't played the games, is what gives you the ability to like upgrade your powers and stuff. And there are big daddies and little sisters in Minerva's Den, and you fight them and whatnot. Or fight the big daddies. You don't fight the little sisters. But we wanted to give the player more ways to get Adam without necessarily going through all of the fights. Because you fought a lot of big daddies if you're playing the DLC to BioShock 2. And so if you just explore really closely, you can get a fair amount of Adam, both outside in the water and inside the space.
Minerva's Den has been cut off from the rest of Rapture for some time,
wants to
but
know
not cut off from space. Don't let your guard down. The den's gone dark, but if you can reset the local power relay, I'll get the juice
in there for you.
The actor is Carl Lumbly. He was someone that our creative director on BioShock 2, Jordan Thomas, had seen in a bunch of TV stuff. Like Carl was the lead in a show called Mantis that was on in the 90s. There was like about a black superhero. And he was also, I guess, in some amount of... he was like in an episode of Battlestar Galactica and stuff. So he's like a character actor. He's done a lot of like sci-fi and stuff like that. And we needed the right voice for Porter, obviously. He suggested, hey, there's this guy that I've seen in some stuff that I really like. And, he was down in LA and he was available, and I got to go down there and meet him, and we got all of his VO in one voice session, and I got to do the voice direction, and it came out really well. Just a really, really good guy, really invested, in like what the fiction is, who he's playing, not just kind of getting the lines on tape, and it was a great experience.
Did he play BioShock?
No, but he had done all of this like this kind of genre stuff, and very quickly like grokked,
right.
Oh, it's like this alternate history. Oh, there's this substance that gives people powers by changing their genes, and got into it and understood the frame very quickly and who his character was within that world.
People are asking you to lower the game volume a bit.
Sure. Options. Audio. Just the master volume?
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't need to hear it that well, right?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
I want to hear your dulcet tones, Steve.
Alright, let me know if that's better.
And all your truth
And then
bombs.
someone else is asking if you wrote all the audio logs.
In Minerva, I think so. It's possible that one of the other level designers on... So I was the level designer on the first level that we're playing now. The other level designers were Scott Lagrasta, who is still working at 2K Marin, and Mario Di Pesa, who I believe is still there as well. And it's possible that Scott wrote some stuff for this. I know he did a little bit for the main game, but I wrote all the dialogue in this thing for the most part. I wrote all the new splicer parts and stuff, but there might have been a little stuff that came from the other team members.
Hello there. Welcome to Minerva's Den, the home of Rapture's high technology.
That's a really nice reveal on that lady.
Thanks.
Because the thing that I always loved about BioShock, this is all of them, is that it feels like interaction with a human being is always imminent, but you never actually do it.
Sorry, I'm getting this. Can you ask? Is anybody getting weird feedback now? I have like this static in my headphones.
They'll hear you ask that.
So you plugged in?
Yeah.
Completely.
It sounds fine to them.
I haven't seen anything.
Oh, okay. Anyway, sorry, technical stuff. Right, yes, like everybody's like behind glass or they die before you get there or whatever, which I think is actually really important. I
agree
I
too.
like that.
I love
like
it.
because it's cool, right? Like there's humanity, but there aren't just other nice people that are hanging out chatting with you or
And
whatever.
because of these people are always in your head, you kind of build these sort of...
What steps into Minerva's den? Porter's newest toy? He wants to tinker for himself. But you see, old friend, the machine has chosen me.
So you're saying?
Oh. Because you're always hearing these people, you get these very sort of intimate portraits of them.
Yeah.
So then when you see sort of like the corporeal form of somebody,
Right.
you want to get close to them and figure out who they are, and you never can. And I think that withholding is like part of what really drove me through both BioShock games.
Yeah, yeah. So just real quick, since we're going past them, all of these posters that are in here were made by Carla Zamanja, who is now one of the 4 people at the Fulbright company working on Gone Home that I'm working on now, the independent game that we're doing, and I think a lot of people skim past stuff like this, but on the other hand, we wanted to keep things keyed into like what was relevant to the player. So in the DLC, we introduced like rocket shooting security robots and like electricity shooting security robots, and so we made posters for like Minerva's Den, McClendon Robotics, upgraded security. You're safer if you use McClendon, but it relates to the game mechanics. There's stuff that before long you'll start encountering these things and fighting against them.
Hilarious Cow is asking, was 2K Brisbane involved in this at all? By which I think he means 2K Canberra.
Right.
But were they?
No, we only were. All those guys were working on XCOM at the time, and we. It was like 10 or 12 full-time content creators at 2K Marin, and we all just kind of sat around in a pit and it was all on site. So we're using a lot of stuff, obviously, that like 2K Australia made because we're using so much BioShock 2 stuff, but all the personnel was in California for this. So the flashlight comes on because the electricity's off.
Time to kill guys.
So those glasses.
There you go. Yeah, I agree.
Reed Wall.
Splicers have a lot of
He and I
personality.
founded Rapture Central
in their
Computing together, but
movements
the
and stuff.
greedy bastard pushed me out years ago.
Someone else is asking,
Splicers,
was
the
this made with
security.
UDK?
He pulls the
I
strings.
mean,
of
it was made
Minerva's
with the
den
same
now.
engine that BioShock 1 and 2 were made with, so it's an Unreal engine game. Oh look, special ammo. I can change my ammo type. This game's cool. So it was based on Unreal 2.5, upgraded over the years to have a bunch of custom stuff. But it was not UDK or Unreal 3, technically. They backwards integrated a bunch of Unreal 3 features for these games. Right, so Porter says this place is dark. Find basically the breaker box to get the lights back on in here. And this is where you start to see a lot of the initial storytelling stuff, like Porter has been branded a traitor by Wall, who kind of has taken control of the place, and you don't necessarily know what the circumstances are for that. But we wanted to get the 2 like main speaking characters from the game in front of the player and give them like a visual identity as soon as you come in. Oh, look at that
Laser.
it's the ion laser.
You can laze some guys.
I intend to. Yeah, we
Lance of oil.
we wanted to go further into the idea of like sci-fi weaponry and stuff like that, because this is supposed to be the high-tech part of Rapture. So we were like, what does a kind of like steampunk laser look like? So we looked at a bunch of very early laser technology experiments where they would have like these like glass tubes that had the beam contained inside of them, and then we have these like lenses that are constantly adjusting and whatnot to make it feel kind of unstable. So let's turn the lights on.
Look at you, Sigma.
Or will you?
You think that Porter is your ally, but the Thinker knows better.
You're dark, Steve.
The Thinker knows.
What would Rapture
This is what I remember making.
from self-opening doors to pneumatic delivery? Keeps life
I think you keep throwing glasses at them.
Yeah, why is
Because they deserve it.
That
Are you
should
ripping
get
their
things
glasses
in order.
Yes, I'm pulling the glasses
Get up
off
to my
their
office
face
in
and
the
throwing them back.
executive wing. I've got
You're the
something
biggest
you
bully.
need.
They are
Take
weird.
those 4 eyes.
Yeah.
Well, it's something that we really liked
Nice
doing.
glasses.
Was like it's the computer world, so like there's nerds here. So we made like computer programmer nerds or some of the new splicers, and we were like, all right, we're gonna have the crawler splicers, the big lanky guys that attach to the ceilings and everything. Let's put some glasses on them too, because they used to be programmers and they just splice themselves. So now, yeah, you'll occasionally see the really mutated, freaky crawlers run up in your face, and they just got big black like nerd glasses on. Right. So one other thing is there's this Thinker statue that they had installed here, sort of to commemorate
What's
the idea
secret
of.
Rapture Central Computing success? The most advanced computing device in the world. The Thinker.
There was just an audio announcement about the Thinker. They refer to the computer core as the Thinker. So there's this statue that is sort of a reference to that.
Yeah.
30 cameras. So like you're gonna get security command here. Security command allows you to distract security elements. We wanted like we'd always started the game, the main game with getting like a gun and electro bolt and sort of like very directly offensive, like offense-based abilities up front. And we wanted to do something different with Minerva's Den because, if you played this, you've played BioShock before. And so we started out with, you have just the drill and telekinesis, which are fairly indirect combat powers, and then you get security command after that. So again, like this guy's going to be shooting at me, and I can distract him by throwing that at the wall. Don't look at me! And encourage people to play maybe with powers that that they might not have thought were as core to the main game. This one's pretty straightforward. We just want to
Sports
Hey,
Boost
Sports Boost.
is the funniest named tonic for me. I really enjoyed that. It's called Sports Boost.
It's so you can run around faster.
So,
Yeah.
WinterG005 is asking, as a level designer, how do you go about notating the visual narrative in tangent with the overall narrative?
It's a very much like an ongoing iterative process where I think that as you're building the level and the story and you're learning about what the story, how you need to tell the story as you're building the space and as you're like detailing out who the characters are and stuff. So it'll be like you build the space and then you're like, oh, and if we put this graffiti here, it would tell you a little bit more. If we put this, like at the beginning, you get the laser gun and it's sitting there so you can get it, and then we put a dead Lancer there. And so the first time you see this new kind of Big Daddy, it's dead. So maybe you won't even notice it, but if you're like, wait, that doesn't quite look the same, you can start to make these associations where like, oh, that's a kind of Big Daddy I haven't seen before. Oh, it's right next to that laser gun. That's probably what it's going to use against me, etc., etc. So it's looking for opportunities, really, I think, as you go. Sorry for doing these melee attacks. I'm switching the stream cameras, and it's making me do weird things.
Someone asks
Those
if this is
vacuum
the
bots
first time
sucked
you've
up all
played
sorts
this
of things
since it
before they
released.
went on the fritz.
I played it at retail when it came out, but yeah, this is the first time I played it in a year or two. Something like that. So yeah, we wanted to have destroy vacuum bots to get valuable loot. We wanted to have like a little bit of an achievement collectible thing. So we were like, there are these vacuum bots. Yeah, basically like 50s steampunk Roombas that are on the fritz, and so you can blow them up, and stuff that they've sucked up pops out of them, and also there's an optional goal that is
Money,
to
a human finger.
oh shit, what happened here? What could have occurred? Why would that guy explode, I wonder?
I bet there's...
Oh,
God.
not because that enemy is controlling a bot that shoots rockets.
I'm learning all this gameplay.
What if I were to... But I have the security command plasmid. What if I...
Uh-oh. You're a monster.
And now she hates her bot.
Her bot was kicking it.
So yeah, like there was always, from BioShock 1, there was always this mechanic where enemies could control bots. Like, you can hack bots and make them follow you around, but you'd occasionally see an enemy that had done the same. And we wanted to lean on that way more because, again, Technology Center of Rapture, we wanted to say, you know, oh, these guys know how to use the technology, so there's going to be a lot more enemies that have security following them around. How the fuck do I play this? There we go. Sorry.
McWizardry asks, Steve, is there a 0451 code in Minerva's Den?
Not in Minerva's Den because there was one in BioShock 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There actually, you know why? Not in Minerva's Den because there are no key code doors at all in Minerva's Den.
Ah, okay.
Which was not something intentional. Like, after we shipped it, I was like, oh yeah, we could have done... No, we didn't have any codes in there. How about that? So it's really just through circumstance and anything else. But, so yeah. So now I've got this rocket robot friend who will follow me around and blow guys up.
Steve Pharma says, yo, level designers, please don't make collectibles just for achievements. You're getting called out.
It's not just for achievements. It's you know, it's to encourage exploration and also to reinforce the fiction of the place. Like not just, you know, they're not just making rocket robots and shit here. They're trying to make stuff
Vacuums.
like automated vacuums so people in Rapture could buy them for their
I
house.
like their diverse technology portfolio includes rocket robots and robot vacuums.
There's other kinds of robots, but it's a lot of robots. All right, so you're supposed to be going to the
It's
office.
Chuck's office.
Yeah, Chucky. You're trying to go to Chuck's office, but the door's locked.
Cameron says, the creation and success of Minerva's
Somebody
Den
around here must have
to
had
go
one of
on your
those
project?
maintenance.
In a lot of ways,
I checked
yeah.
the
I
machine
mean,
room
you know,
in the
like
executive wing.
it success in the sense of a lot of people liked it. It's not like we sold a lot of them or anything, but you know, like we made something we were really proud of, and we worked with a small team, and working with a small team on something that we really had a lot of responsibility over, and that we felt like was ours. It was a big inspiration to want to do that again, and going indie was a way to achieve that. Here's a room that we liked making.
That room is rad.
We actually this clock is based on the office from, you know what, from Hudsucker Proxy.
Hudsucker Proxy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
With like we have like the hands of the clock, like, you know, cast this giant shadow into the room and everything. And we thought it would be awesome to make it a window out into the water, and it's also, yeah, something that could frame some environmental storytelling stuff. So this is where you get like your first kind of introduction to what Wall's psychosis is.
JC says, Steve, you should tell the story of Rich, the text-to-speech voice, and the immortal words, I'm not a robot.
Well, Tynan loves I'm Not a Robot, which is also good. I agree. So yeah, when we were making BioShock 2, you have audio diaries and you have radio announcements and stuff, and you block them out by using like just a generic text-to-speech program, like Microsoft text-to-speech, whatever. Or I think we actually use like an AT&T text-to-speech, I forget. But it has a few different voices. And so one that I chose for like the main guy in one of my levels on the main campaign, he had a voice that, you know, text-to-speech is hilarious, but and also you're writing very temp dialogue. You know, it's like the level designers just block in some crap that's not supposed to live through the ship. And so in my level, let's see, you were like gathering. So I worked on what's it called? The level Siren's Alley. No, not Siren's Alley. That was the one after mine. Fuck, Pauper's Drop. It's been a while. Pauper's Drop in BioShock 2, where you use the research camera to find out about brute splicers, and so I threw in some dumb dialogue that was like there are a couple lines that came out really well of the text to speech going, Look at the size of that brute. Get his genetic information and I'll put it into the steam pewter. Because I was like, what do you do with this genetic information? Clearly they're somehow, like, analyzing it, so I guess they have a steampunk computer somewhere. And so, in a way, that was part of the inspiration for Minerva's Den, was like, there's the security bots that, like, navigate on their own, and there's security turrets that acquire targets and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, there's some version of computer technology. There's some kind of like crazy mainframes somewhere in Rapture. And so it was a joke line in the main campaign that I just wrote that obviously didn't make it in, but then we ended up making a DLC that's actually about steam computers. So that was all right. I got a hack tool.
That hack tool should come in handy. Head back up to my office.
So we did a lot of this where there's like the destruction in Rapture lets you see these door controls that you can use the remote hack tool to unlock and then get stuff like
Hacker's Delight.
tonic. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you hack more stuff than you have to hack, and you get a tonic that lets you hack better. But it's one of these things. There was an interesting tension for Minerva's Den where it's like you have to have bought BioShock 2 to have Minerva's Den at all, but we can't guarantee that like you've played BioShock 2 recently or you played very far into it. So there's a certain amount of like training that we do. So you come in here, you've got your hack tool, but you try to go through this door and wall locks you out basically, and we change this light from red to green, and you're like, oh I see. So now we have guaranteed, that you've used the hack tool to get through a door like this before you keep going. And Wall is like, I tried to lock you in, and you think you can just hack this stuff and win, get real. So you can also hack guys' bots while there. Oh god, no, not me! No, not me! There we go. So so now this is the electric bot that we saw from that poster that I've now hacked while this guy was controlling it. It's gonna go over and zap the shit out of him, and then my rocket guy fucks him up. And we wanted to add more to the security bot space because like we only had machine gun bots in BioShock 2, but it's not so hard to make like different kinds of damage come out of a bot like that. And so we were like, oh, it'd actually be really cool if you had a bot that could stun guys for you, and then you do the damage to them. You don't have to have Electrobolt equipped all the time, because your bot runs around and just zaps guys, and then you follow up. So it allows there to be a little bit more emergent outcomes just from having bots on your side.
The stun bot is my favorite bot.
I like
It's very good. It's also just hilarious.
Wall splicers haven't gotten into my office thanks to the Thinker's
And then
security.
Rocket.
I'm giving you top-level access now. All right? Beginning scan.
So this is part of what we wanted to do. Well, here's the first time you hear the Thinker's voice.
Sigma, please come in.
So the Thinker's voice, surprise, hot scoops. We got scoops here. Nobody cares. The Thinker's voice is a very processed version of our audio, our voice direct, our voice engineer, Michael Surex from Steve Gaynor, because he only has a few lines. So in this sequence we wanted Porter to very clearly help you in a specific way. So he's like, okay, I'm updating the database to give you top-level access to, like my office and other secure locations. And so then the Thinker scans you and lets you get into Porter's office, and it's
Sorry, I
been
can't
locked
be
up.
there
and
to
it
meet you in person.
basically
You've seen the
wakes
state
up when
of
you
Den
come back
these
in.
days. It's
It was always
the
very
Thinker
surprising
that's
to me to
important
see
now, though.
the picture
I need you to
of
get to
the
the
big daddy
computer
guy
core and
on
print a
those
hard
screens.
copy of
That's
the Thinker's
like,
machine
this is
code.
your guy.
Core
That was always very
access is
odd because
operational.
it's such a
There's an
like
ops access punch
alienating
card
looking
hidden in the compartment
character.
under my
Yeah.
desk there.
It was always
Grab the card
surprising
and
to
head
me.
for ops.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's nice in the sense of, it is, oh, whoops, did I just, oh, I didn't. It is, it's such a an abstract character in a way that it works really well as a cipher. You know, like for it is in a lot of ways just something that inherently does not have its own identity. And so when you're playing with like an identity narrative, you know, with like about who are you and who are these characters and stuff, it works pretty well. I'm gonna go over here and do like this stuff is not very important, but I'm gonna go over here and first do a little Easter eggy stuff. What's that? How do I switch my fucking? Alright. Sorry, I haven't played this on PC very much. So there are dead cats in Rapture. And you can throw them at shit. Whoops. But you can find there's one dead cat in each level of Minerva's Den, and we named them after famous computer scientists from the early century or from the 19th century. Very early computer scientists. So here's a cat named Babbage, poor little dead cat. And then over here, I'm going to listen to this optional audio diary. Speaking of environmental storytelling stuff that someone was asking about, we're like, okay, Porter's office, this is sort of like, this is where he would come to meet with people. You know, this is not like his workshop, but it's his public office. And we were like, okay, so you have some personal effects in here. And the story's about, in a lot of ways, him and his wife. So there's this audio diary that he just says some stuff. But we also have a picture of his wife, Pearl, that's dated 1935, so you know how old she was then. And this is like 30 years later in the present tense. And you have a picture of them together, in front of Big Ben, so they were in London. And there's a telegram that will only be revealed once you actually pick this thing up, you know. But if you can't read this, let's see. It says, Charles Porter, care of Lincoln University. Mr. Porter, I understand you enjoy a gift for maths. Stop. Please consider joining my team in Buckinghamshire. Stop. Rising Nazi movement must be kept in check. Stop. Travel arrangements sent ahead. Time is of the essence. And it's signed Alan Turing. So there's this idea that he was recruited by Turing, basically straight out of college, to work on the very early computer science stuff that would help win World War II. And then here's the personal side of it.
That first year in London working for Turing, I didn't see Pearl much. Spent all day and night in a government compound, building a computer to crack the Enigma machine. Pearl got pretty fed up with me. I didn't pay her heed. And then one night, I'm out in that complex, and the Blitz starts falling. Next morning, I came home to find nothing but ashes where I last saw her. Nothing but ashes.
So he talks about how his wife died in the Blitz of London while he was off in Bletchley Park working on the assignment from Turing, and he wasn't there to, he put her in danger by moving to London, and she died, and he lived. So that's part of his backstory. An eye-catching panel. there's a tradition started in BioShock 1 of when there was like something that would normally not actually, like a little switch or something you have to hit. The text label always says like fascinating switch or something. So.
I noticed more of that stuff in Bio 2 than I did in Bio 1.
Yeah, I think there were a few more instances of it just in the campaign. So there's a unique object in here, which is the operations access punch card. That's the next area we're going to go to.
Potter's time is done, friend. And now you collude with this traitor to steal the thinker away from me? Sigma must be removed from the equation.
JP says,
shit.
Office defenses.
Sono Pelling did it once in Bio 1, and then it turned into a thing.
Yeah. So yeah, we again with like the whole idea of alternate approaches to established mechanics from the first game. We were like, what can we do to like we're DLC. We can't make like incredibly extreme changes. Like we added a new weapon and etc. But like we wanted to look for good updates to the mechanics that were not super expensive. So we were like, what if there was a brute splicer who would spliced up incinerate and would like hit you with like flaming hands. And it was something that David Pittman, one of our programmers on the main game, had actually prototyped during development. It was just something that never made its way into the main game. But we were like, let's take that idea and make it part of things are different here in Minerva's Den. Here's a new kind of threat that you haven't faced before. And so we kind of took the prototype and fleshed it out and added some effects and made it into a thing that I think is a pretty nice it feels new. You know? Oh shit! Not this guy. Not this fucking guy. Yeah, zap him. Thanks, security bot. I can't wait till I get to name you. Oh, he zapped that guy off the ceiling. I like you, security bot. No, it's my friend. Hello. I also want to repair him, but I have to find a thing to do that. I'm going to run in here real quick. I'm not going to go into this big side area, but the spear gun is over here. Oh yeah, oh that's right. I'll talk about this for a second.
The Thinker's perfect equation has predicted your every
Die,
move, Sigma.
motherfucker.
It knew you would be here. It knows where you will be next.
Yeah, this guy's tremendous.
And it knows that you
I probably use this
win.
thing.
It's essentially a sniper rifle.
Yeah, that's
So
what he's-
or like a Magnum. Look at how owned. Oh, right through the lip. He's pinned to the wall by the lip.
Obsessed with perfecting
Give me
his
that.
predictive equation. The Thinker can do plenty, but tell the future? No. The
All right.
splicing drove
What are
him
you guys doing?
mad.
You're mad at each other.
Can
The
rot
security,
here in
these security
rapture for
guys
all
got
I
pissed
care.
off at each other. I
We'll
don't even know
leave
what
the
they're doing.
cause of the Thinker and return it
What
to
are
the
you
land
doing,
of the living.
security? Anyway, yeah, if you're the kind of player that likes using like the Magnum or the sniper rifle in a video game,
I'm
then
not
the
a
spear
Magnum
gun.
guy, but I am a sniper rifle guy.
They're both just like slow firing, accurate, heavy damage weapons. Speaking of low level design thing, so you see this stuff, and there's a locked door with this like electromagnetic lock on it, and this stuff through a window, and you can't go back there yet. But you're like, there's something going on here. So we worked to put in some stuff that you would encounter a potential side area but not be able to access it yet. And once you get the tools to go through it, it's not on the critical path. You have to go back. You have to backtrack intentionally and remember, oh, I saw something like that before. And there's some cool stuff on the other side of that. If you get the tool to unlock it and you remember that it's there. But it's up to you to think back.
Your business benefit from that kind of power?
Alright.
Contact a corporate accounts representative today.
The Lancer is the most technically advanced Big Daddy that Rapture ever produced. Now it stands
lean.
between you
Where's
and
my
the
lean
little
kid?
sister.
Harvey Smith.
And if there's anywhere
Heckling
that
the
you
end of
need
this thing for
Adam
me.
to get by, it's Minerva's den.
So yeah, this is the new Big Daddy that we set up for Minerva's Den. Again, he's native to Minerva's Den, the location, fictional location in BioShock. He was never deployed more widely into Rapture, and he uses the laser technology, and he uses. I'll fight him. We'll see how that works. What else I got? Oh, that'll be good. Yeah. To fight the player and make you have to interact with him differently. I'm just going to fight this one guy. We don't need to do very many Big Daddy fights in this thing.
But you can see Rodin's masterpiece of sculpture that shares its
Getting
name.
pissed off at me.
Come
Hey,
visit
jerk.
the Thinker today.
Don't shoot back at me.
Minerva's Den.
So he has this like basically flashbang attack that he uses his laser gun overload to blind you. So you have to look away if he starts to set that off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heal, and I'm going to intentionally piss off security, and then I'm going to throw a security command at him. The enemies will not like it. So now the bots are pissed off at him because he is the target of security. And I'm just going to try... Oh, control, thanks. Thank you, training text. So now he's distracted by the enemies, and he takes down bots really quickly. Like lasers just fuck up the security and robots. In the game, but still allows them to draw aggro. Oh shit! Go over there. Can I hack you guys? Oh fuck! Now they're gonna be mad at each other, so it's okay. They're gonna kiss. They're kissing. And the alarm's over. Give me that. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Coming back? Sweet. Okay, so I took that guy down. You're like, okay, his laser does a lot of damage to you if you stay in his range of vision for too long, and he uses the fucking flash attack, so you have to not always just be staring at him.
Are we gonna be together again, Daddy?
Yeah, no. She's just gonna stay there. Gimme. I need some health kits. Hooray. Alright, so she'll be there for the rest of the time. So I got this hack tool. and there's this door control. It's something that again, level design stuff was. You come through this. You come through this. The main hub, the first place you go through, and at the far end of the upstairs on the far end, there's an open door, to go into the part that we already explored. But there's also this door over here that is locked, that goes to McClendon Robotics. That before you have the distance hack tool, you can't get in there. And then on the other side, there's Airtight Archives, which has this sparking door control that if you play BioShock 1 or 2, you need Electrobolt to get through. So you might see those things ahead of time, and right now, what the quest is telling me to do is I got that Operations Access punch card earlier, and it's like, okay, go to Operations, because now you have the punch card to get in there. And I can, and when I go down there, Porter will say, shit, you can't get in there yet because I'll just do it. But because I'll just follow it's easier to just follow the stuff for this playthrough. But I have the hack tool, and if I think to myself, wait a second, I saw this earlier, I already have the hack tool, I'm going to go straight there. You can, we set it up so that you can totally do this out of order and go through McClendon Robotics and through Airtight Archives and have the tool to get into Operations before you ever know you need it. It's something that, we had to put some work into and record some alternate lines and do some scripting tests to say, do you have this yet or not? But I thought it was really important to say you don't have to follow the breadcrumbs. If you're being observant, you can say, if I had the quest arrow turned on right now, I'm going to ignore the quest arrow and go to this other place that I've figured out I could go to now, if I want. And so if you have the thing that he's going to tell you need, the first time you get there, he'll be like, oh, use that thing you have to get through this blockage. But I'll just do it the normal way.
Hell. The maglock door's still active.
Sorry.
It's regulated by the resistors plugged into that relay. If you can find a way to yank them out, magnets fail, doors open. There's a plasmid that could do the job. They called it gravity well.
So this is the point where, okay, so a couple things. Well, usually, sometimes the talking character is sort of
According to the Thinker's records, the Airtight
a mouthpiece for the player's outlook or the designer's output or outlook. So like when you get to this point, what you know is go to the Operations entry point. You have this punch card, and then you get there, and there are these maglocks here, and the first thing that Porter says is, "Oh hell." Well, and so that was, I don't know, it's fun. Just because I wanted him to be believable as somebody who's like, I thought I was just going to get you down to Operations, but these fucking maglocks are still turned on. All right. But he also gets to tell you about one of the new features from the DLC, which is, there's this new plasmid. It's called Gravity Well. You should go try and find it, because that'll let you basically pull these resistors out of these machines by tossing it back there, and that will cause the maglock to fail, and then blah blah blah. So you're on this chained tool quest of you need Gravity Well, but you need the hack tool to get Electrobolt to get Gravity Well. So that's why you're going to explore the full level. Hey, how's it going? You still sad or
malfunctioning door control?
She looks like she's cheered
Your
up.
hack tool should get you into
she's happy when I come
robotics.
around. Alright, so yeah. Hooray! So now you've gotten access to a new area. I wonder if this works. It does. Yeah. So if you look at the map, there's this fairly clear. You started back here and you made your way in, and now there's this hub that we're in, and we're going off onto a spoke that will lead us through the next big area, McClendon Robotics, where all of the robots and stuff are actually manufactured.
Jeans, count on lying down on the yard, are ya?
Let's see, drill dash. How's it work? What do I have to do? Hold shift. Press shift while. Okay, yeah. All right, so. This is one of these things where, like, we're going to give you this tonic, gives you a new ability, and this guy's distracted, and wouldn't it be great if I could do this? Whoosh! So, just little things like that. And so, one of our things that we wanted to do was introduce the weapons and powers in a different order than you had before. So you got telekinesis and the drill, and then you got the laser gun, which is a new thing, and then you got the spear gun before the rivet gun, which is sort of your very basic, like, pistol weapon. It can be upgraded to be really useful, or if you're somebody that likes to do fast-firing, single-shot weapons, it's good. But this was the first gun you got in the main game. We didn't want it to be the first thing you got again. So, it's a different imagining of the ramp of the player abilities than what you've played in prior versions. So I'm going to go in. So the demonstration stage is kind of cool. It's totally optional. I wouldn't normally go in here just in interest of time. I'm going to find something. Oh, fuck. No.
Possibly yourself.
Possibly not myself.
That'll be the thing that you discover.
A little bit about Rapture.
Mom, what's 7 times 12? Don't ask me, silly.
Oh, I have too many already. That's right. You only have 2.
Honey, I'm home from work. What's
So, yeah.
that wonderful smell?
The automatic.
No.
Made your favorite tonight.
Computer.
Surprise.
Alright, sorry, I'm going to go back around here.
Lift a finger.
Because that guy's an asshole.
Yay. Thanks, Mom. Don't thank me. Thank McClendon Robotics.
How might McClendon Robotics improve the lives of your customers? Meet with one of our
Why did I
corporate
put that there? This
representatives
is a rude
today.
place for a camera.
McClendon Robotics
So yeah, there's another one of these guys.
conveniently located
Oh
in
man,
Minerva's
he's on the move.
I know, he's demonstrating.
technology.
Just cleaning up all this rubble.
Watch him go.
Been working overtime ever since the fall of Rapture.
I'm cleaning out the kitchen. It's the kitchen. Oh, I'm so rude to you. And
You're a monster.
I'll pick this up because
That bot's gonna be like, so been cleaning the same square.
no, it's sucked up. It's sucked up.
Oh, that's
a diary
right.
by Christopher D. Ramo.
Sometimes a cloud.
Oh my gosh!
What?
Signed for a shipment of those new bot models from McClendon. One variety tosses lightning bolts, and the other fires a swarm
You
of
have a very
rockets.
deep, sultry voice.
I
That's
understand
right, I
we
do.
got some sensitive info bouncing around the mainframe, but brother, have you guys ever heard of overkill?
And so I picked an audio diary to put a reference to Chris on, but also it's a guy who's complaining about how absurd some of the world of Rapture is. He's like, because he's talking about the electric bots and the lightning bots. He's like, I got these robots throwing rockets around now. This guy's ever heard of overkill? What is this? So I thought that was a fairly Chris thing to
I like
care
that
about.
that's my pseudo-representation of the world of Rapture. Is the guy, what is this shit? Come on now.
Juice. Some little sister snacks. They left out some treats for the
They're
sis.
supposed to open with their bare hands.
The Big Daddy. He's got his drill.
Oh, it's true.
He's got the laser.
That's
Just
actually
lasers
why they
off the
first
top.
installed the drill, was a can opener.
How are they gonna eat snacks?
We better install a massive drill on this guy. This so he can open up a can of sardines.
Alright, spear gun. So yeah, we put some of the main abilities like mini turrets, like into where you'll find them pretty easily. Oh right. So here's something that's interesting. Here's some lore. I'm not gonna run in here real quick because look at this stuff that's lying around. These bits and pieces.
What?
What are they? Little sister dresses and arms and legs and stuff?
Holy moly.
And they're like laying around.
A cat around here?
And so here's some. So in BioShock 1's development, they were worried about Germany, and so they were like, "Are we going to be able to have little sisters actually be little girls in Germany?" So they made a robot version of the little sisters as a precaution, and they didn't ship it, but it was still in our Perforce depot for BioShock 2. And so kind of late in the development of Minerva's Den, we were like, wait a second, what if one of the experiments that McClendon Robotics was doing was they were trying to make a replacement for little sisters that were robots that would just go around and gather atom and process it through some kind. And so if you look, you start to get these implications of what's going on, and then if you explore this part of the area a little bit closer, you get a little bit more backstory into their attempts to build a robot little sister. What the? Hey.
Crafting Skills wants to know, how does a Big Daddy switch weapons and where does he place his drill?
They've got. I mean, they got a really big backpack. Like, I don't know, same place that Jack put his shotgun, pistol, machine gun, flamethrower, etc., I guess. In a lot of ways, I feel like it's a little bit more understandable to say that a giant armored suit Big Daddy could carry around 300 pounds of weaponry. So I'm going back here to get Handyman, which is one of my fucking favorite tonics. This is actually... so when your security friends take a bullet for you, put them back in tip-top shape with a bit of Eve. You can basically repair your bots by frothing them once you have this tonic installed, but it also gives them a randomly chosen name from a list of names. So as a player, I always loved bots, and I felt like myself and a lot of players got really attached to bots, like, oh, my little bot friends, I don't want them to die. And so in BioShock 2, it was like, okay, one easy thing is when you click on it, you can heal them, so you can keep one bot around for longer. But I had pitched the idea of what if you could name them, like what if you could click on them and like use the Xbox keyboard or your computer keyboard to just put in a name, and that was hard. Yeah, it was something that would be a lot of investment for something that's pretty silly. But Jonaman, the programmer at the Fulbright company, who I worked with at 2K Marin, and has since gone indie with me to work on Gone Home, he heard us pitching this idea and it getting shot down or whatever, and he just like stayed late on a weekend and was like, I'll put in a system where when you repair your bots, it just picks from a list of names that you guys can put in and apply it, you know?
That's awesome.
And I just showed up and I was like, what, really? He's like, yeah. And so I just went into a text file and entered like 100 names, you know? Yeah. And so now, you go in here and your bot's taking some hits, and you press B, and now his name is Garrett, which is, of course, a Looking Glass reference, thief, character. Oh, fuck, not you. Anything but you. Oh, wait. They killed the guy, so that was cool. Oh, I already have 2 friends, I guess. So yeah, there's Garrett, and there's a bunch of references to, like, the names of people who worked on the game, and, you know, people that we knew personally, and other characters, etc. Come on, you want? Where are you?
Should switch screens.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Where'd my other... Oh, there we are. Come on. There we go. Randy! So now I got
Randy Smith?
I mean,
Randy.
I think Randy is just a name, but when you have Randy and Garrett at the same time, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that stuff where, like, Jordan Thomas was the lead, or the creative director on BioShock 2, and we put in Jordan and Thomas as names, so you can have Jordan Thomas following you around. Right. And, like, there was this thing in BioShock 1, JP put in references to Pac-Man in Arcadia. You guys might have looked at that when you were doing the live stream. And so when I was putting in potential names for the bots, I put in the names of the ghosts from Pac-Man, so you can have like Inky and Blinky following you around or whatever. Guys, let's chill it out. And just, you know, little Easter eggy kind of stuff like that. But, you know, sometimes it's weird, because, like, I put in my grandmother's name, and then you're like, oh, it's my grandma's name, and she's following you around, and then your bot dies, and then you're like, no, my grandma died. So maybe be careful with what names you put in. I'm going to go find the... So you go back here, this is a totally optional little side area. You can find, you know, some ammo and whatever else, but there's this dramatically lit grating over here. Golly. So you go back here... And you, let's see, knock this guy off.
Creepy.
Oh, man.
They're monsters.
Disturbing.
Yeah.
Was that an animation
Yeah.
that you guys already had?
Yeah.
That you were able to throw on there?
So, you know, when you're making DLC, you're always repurposing
Right,
stuff.
of course.
The worst. So, like, you remember Tenenbaum's safe house in BioShock 1?
Yeah, oh, of course, right.
So there were all these little sisters. They were just
hanging
like
out.
sitting on chairs and lying around and doing little things. And so we grabbed a bunch of those animations and poses
That's
and
perfect.
applied them. And so some of these are just like, you know, propped up against stuff.
Right.
But occasionally, like, okay, so here's what I like the most and is also the worst. This one's lying right here. So watch closely. I'm on full screen, right? When I pick this up, watch her like chest, like.
Oh, jeez.
It's my most favorite, most hated thing. She does this little, like, breathing motion when you take the the audio diary off of her chest, but that's all that she does. So here we go.
Robotic little sisters.
Sorry.
Robotic little sisters.
So cartoonishly drunk Jack McClendon.
Sure, yeah. We'll front
Oh, man,
all
his
the
little
R&D
picture.
costs. No problem. And,
That's funny.
and when the big daddies ignore the little robot girls and all
right.
your fancy field tests, hell, what are we gonna do with all the full production run of these useless things?
Multivalent hilarious goofiness going on here. So let's see. Where to start? So McClendon Robotics is a reference to Zach McClendon, who is the lead designer of BioShock 2. And you know, he's fucking awesome, and I learned a ton from him. And he actually, he originally was like, it was his idea to say, what if they built robots here? You know, and I was like, that's a great idea. So we're like, we'll name the place after Zach McClendon Robotics. And then we were gonna, you know, we wanted to do a little robotic little sister area, and we were like, okay, the fiction is they got a contract to make, they did the R&D on this stuff on spec. Like Ryan was like, can we get a robot version of Little Sisters so we don't have to use little girls, because that's got all kinds of problems with it. And just on spec, they did the whole R&D and made a full production run, and they found out at the end of the whole thing that the big daddies wouldn't imprint on the robot Little Sisters, so they wouldn't protect them, so it was fucking useless. So the audio diary is Jack McClendon, which, like you said, his little audio diary portrait is a picture of Zach. Yeah. Completely trashed, being like, what are we gonna do with all these garbage? I'm ruined, you know. And so then there's this corpse sitting here. He's surrounded by whiskey bottles, and there's vomit on the floor, right there. That, you know, presumably is. Oh, and his pockets are full of whiskey too. Of presumably the body of poor Jack McClendon, who went into his workshop and wasted away. All right, I'm a big daddy. I'm a big daddy that drank 3 bottles of whiskey out of that guy's pockets and got trashed. So anyway, yes, that is the long story of why there are robotic little sisters at all in Minerva's Den, and what all the little references are. So I'm gonna move my ass. Oh, look at this, jerks! What, you think you can just be a jerks? Come on. Oh, am I out of ammo for this? Shit. I need to make some hack darts. Alright.
Oh, can you switch this phone yet?
Oh, right, yes. It was... Wait, there we go. Thank you for reminding me about that stuff. Sorry for being less than observant about it than I could have. So yeah, I'm bringing Garrett and Randy back to life.
Chad points out Randy's probably named after Randy Savage. Which I thought was
yeah, you know, you can actually get 2 bots named Slim and Jim. You could snap into them.
Alright, so that completes the entire WWF/WWE fiction.
Right. Oh yeah. So this is a silly little. You know, level design, right? Okay. So I'll let this play out while I do this, because this is where the fiction starts talking about how Porter had the idea to use the thinker who can think for itself, reason out solutions to problems, and basically mimic people's voices to try to recreate the personality of his dead wife.
Earl's death opened up a kind
and it's
of
tied into
hole in
Turing and the Turing test and stuff.
But eventually I got around
Former
to reflecting on
Telltale
Alan
Bruce won the Turing
and his
test
intelligence test on machines. I remember grinning about the idea that I could beat it. Design a machine capable of replicating Turing himself. And wouldn't that show the old man? But then suddenly I realized I wasn't really
Somebody in
thinking
chat
about
points out
replicating Alan
that
at all.
whatever your keybinds are for switching the streaming window, you're using a health pack as well.
I know, it's fine. I don't die.
He's a pro.
So while I was listening to that, there's the stairs to that brightly lit, exciting area have collapsed, and there's this beam that goes across, but it's blocked by these cranes. So you have this thing. And the cranes move out of the way.
I love stuff like this in games.
And the cranes move out of the way. And lights come on and stuff, but if I'm not mistaken, also I can do that. Oh, where these guys come from? Why are they such jerks?
Oh man,
I hate them. I hate them.
what gun are you using?
This is a Rivet gun, yeah. Oh, I picked up a robot little sister torso. I need to murder someone with it. Where'd they go?
Keep it forever.
I guess we'll just hold on to it. Okay, I'll drop it like you said, computer. Oh wait, there he is. Give me that back. No, give me that back. No, give me that back. There we go. Where is he?
God.
Shit.
The action
There he is.
movie
Got him.
The action movie, like,
Yes.
recut of you picking up a hook, then glasses, then a body. Is amazing. No, yes!
Alright, so yeah.
The Thinker's independent reasoning processor has been running for several months now. Standardized intelligence test scores continue
is
to
the whole
rise,
team here in San
beginning
Francisco
voice
beginning for
synthesis
the
test.
festival?
The Fulbright company is here. All 4 of our full-time members. We're here to do the press tour. We talk to people.
Conversation topic, Pearl Porter.
You spent a lot of time in this here office the past few days.
My late wife. Yes,
Can't
I'd
deny.
love to tell you all about her. I have a number
Why
of
are
old
they all
audio
on the
recordings we
stream?
made together that you could
They wouldn't
listen
fit.
to. If
The
you'd like.
stream. It would explode the stream.
I mean, as
You took the words right out of my mouth.
as you point out, Sean, we have spent
A lot of time.
a lot of time
No,
in
they
this
were
office.
probably
They were
chilling
happy
in
to
San Francisco day.
have they were happy to have an excuse not to be in this room. I took the bullet and came back to do the stream. But yeah, they are taking some well-deserved time off because everybody was working really hard to help organize the press tour and talk to folks. We had
already what will happen.
To show people, I imagine.
well, yeah, but I mean, there was a lot that went into getting into showable shape, but they've also been here just like making the press tour happen for the last few days. You couldn't hear it, but when that guy got zapped, he went, and it was pretty good. Boosh! For curiosity's sake, all splicers and stuff have an internal code name. I think JP probably talked about this, like Toasty, the guy with the head bandage and the really big lip. The new splicers in Minerva's Den, the male splicer is named Buttons, and the female splicer is named Hetty. I have money.
Like Hedy Lamar.
Yeah. Actually, not spelled that way. It's spelled Hetty like someone's head because she has a big, weird, mutated head.
Ah, okay.
But it was originally based on Hetty
Somebody
Lamar.
asks, is Wall's surname meant to be suggestive? It's German for choice. Just take credit for it.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm then going to admit I didn't fucking know that. It's cool. I'm glad that's true, and I like it. But that said, it's actually based on the lead IT guy at 2K Marin's name was Reed Waller, and he was like sort of the classic like IT lord, you know, and we liked him. He was also like a IT lord weirdo, and so we were like,
you can't see on the
sorry,
screen,
let me
but
just
Steve, when he referred to the classic IT lord, Steve made the like
he was an IT
machinations
lord
symbol.
Yes. So we thought it would be cool. Oops.
Oh man.
To I mean, I'll reactivate it.
Randy. Snap it to Slim Jim.
Whoa, JP says Kybers in Bio 1 was originally named Wall.
Oh, that's strange. I had no idea. Hey, how you been? You want to say hi?
He's still bummed out.
After
Hey.
Jed,
Ah, yeah.
after Jed Wall,
Hi.
the character
Alright,
in
bye.
Bio 1.
I like
Oh, cool.
the fate worse than adopting or death for her is to just leave her crying over that guy's body for all time. you found a fifth and third option. That's actually worse.
It's really cool that Wall's name means choice in German. Thank you, stream watchers. That is awesome.
One good zap from that electrical plasma
Okay, you've
should get you into the archives.
scrolled off of the chat. So
No,
just
it's
say your name again.
Osmosis
It's very green. You're
Osmosis sheesh or something.
Okay.
Osmosis.
I wonder what it's German
Osmosis.
Scoops.
for. What's oh?
It's Austrian for scoops, actually.
I kind of do want to just keep blowing up bots until I can get one that's named Scoops because it is possible, but I'm not going to. Here's something here's one of the audio diary environmental storytelling moments that I enjoy a lot. So, if you played BioShock 2, you know that the main story of it was about
Sheep.
lamb, like baby sheep,
Yeah, baby sheep.
like a college baby sheep. Well, it was about a character named Lamb who was like a collectivist and tried to get everybody in Rapture to basically like join this collective conscience and was sort of a cult leader. And because of how much we wanted to do with Minerva's Den as far as make it its own side story, we had to say she's not here. You know, like there isn't, like, Lamb does not have a presence in Minerva's Den, and because there's just too much that was going on. But like so much of like the audio diaries in BioShock in general that will like basically rationalize something about the mechanics or the story or something that wouldn't make sense otherwise, I needed to address why isn't Lamb stuff here. So I put this little care package from Lamb, which is like her book of philosophy and one of her little butterfly pins, and this audio diary, which is named after an old blog post of mine.
Oh, right.
which is Porter's response to her advances. Dear Dr. Lamb, I received the invitation to your little social club today. In return, I'd like to make you a wager.
I really like the chairs in Rapture.
I wager you need Rapture Central Computing just a little bit more than I need your half-baked metaphysical mumbo-jumbo. Ideal in science, not whatever it is you're up to. You keep out of Minerva's Den, and I'll keep this city's automation from grinding to a complete and sudden halt. Sound fair?
So he basically says the reason that Lamb isn't here, he says, ideal in science, not whatever it is you're up to. And he's like, I think you need the computational power of Minerva's Den more than I need to have you as a friend. So you stay out of my business, I'll stay out of yours, basically. And so you get on with your life, and now it can be about Porter and his story, as opposed to the story that was already told in BioShock 1, or BioShock 2, I should say. Something mechanically that we did, what? Is it a good stream talk?
Yeah.
Oh. Alright. Something mechanically that we did, again, just like Minerva's Den, what we wanted to do was put the full arc of the player power curve from the main game into 3 hours or whatever. So you go from nothing to fully upgraded if you want within that time. But that just, like, because of how BioShock works, normally weapon upgrades are upgrade stations, and to have that many upgrade stations in something as small as Minerva's Den, there would have to have been one in every fucking room. So what we did, both to encourage players to play differently than they normally would, to like use upgrades they might normally not have bought, and to reduce the amount of shit on the walls, we removed upgrade stations and just had you be able to find upgraded versions of the weapons as you explored. So you can't choose which upgrades to put on your laser gun, but you find this guy, and you found the upgraded ion laser. The intensity upgrade increases damage output. So we basically say, boom, we put this attachment on it, and you have now found upgraded damage for your laser gun. Have fun. And so it's another way to encourage you to explore the game fully. And say, oh, if I look everywhere, I can find upgrades for my weapons without overloading the game with as many of the individual objects that you would find if you were playing the main game. I'm going to deactivate one of these. Garrett, you get to go sleep. Go sleep. And Laser Friend, or Electric Friend, you get to be my electric friend. Mario! Hi, Mario. Yes, there is Mario and Luigi. You can have them following you.
I don't think I ever encountered Mario or Luigi.
Yeah. Okay, so we put a lot of little references to our team in here as well. So there are these boxes of vacuum tubes that are called Carla electron tubes. So that's named after Carla Zamanja, who's now at the Fulbright Company. And we have other little references to people that worked on the game throughout here. I'm going to go over here, again, even though this isn't super relevant. Let's see, what am I going to do? I'm going to hack this
camera room that's this bright with that bright color after so much murkiness and
Yeah.
desaturated stuff.
You guys are going for
Yeah, there weren't as many opportunities to do that in the main game, and so yeah, we took at this point. Let me make this camera shut up. Go sleep.
I think he was killed.
No, I sniped it. I blew up that camera. My friends are friends.
For some reason, I thought you shot through Mario.
No! So I'm gonna listen to this audio diary because we talked about this actually on the podcast when we were talking about race in Walking Dead and Minerva. So I'm just gonna let this play for a second because just to make the point.
I don't think I heard this one. Can I listen to it?
Yeah, I'll give you the headphones. Them phones. Can they reach from over there?
I am. Got a long cord.
Sure, you hear it in Rapture. One of the business types asked me, why don't you splice white? Get ahead. Well, that's some idiocy. I told him, first of all, I am ahead. Second, in Rapture, it's your work that's supposed to matter, not your skin. Too bad for some folks who can't splice in common sense.
Oh, that's nice.
So, yeah, that audio diary is basically Porter talking about encountering racists in Minerva's Den, and a subordinate of his who was a racist, no less. Basically, so the reason. Okay, the text of that says something like, so somebody from the business department asked me, why don't you splice white and get ahead in this city to a black man, and that came from in BioShock 1 in Steinman's level. There's a fairly throwaway bit in one of the audio diaries that says, change your height, change your strength, change your race, like anything can. And I'm like, that's really interesting. To think of the fact that people could just splice a different race in Rapture, especially in like the 50s, like, and so it adds a little bit, I think, to the identity of Porter that he could have done that, and he was like, I am who I am. I'm going to get... And he says, like, it's supposed to be about your work, not what you look like, basically. And to persist within a society where people would have been prejudiced against him and say, no, I'm smart enough, I'm good enough at my job, this is who I am.
Well, sort of, there's a sort of loop, right, of this very libertarian society where nothing... like, a society built on meritocracy, right?
Oh, libertarian and, I mean, all that.
But, that allows you, there's no, laws against creating something that could change your race.
Yep.
But why would you need that in a place
where yes, exactly.
That's sort of, it's a nice, it's really nice, it's well done.
And so something that's interesting to me about that is that there were a number of reviews of Minerva's Den and that mentioned, like, it tackles issues of race and this, that, and the other thing. The only place it's ever mentioned anywhere or alluded to in any way whatsoever is that audio diary. And it was interesting with, like, The Walking Dead. Like, you have a black lead character, but I feel like there's not a lot of discussion of, like, that being super significant or, like, an issue. Like, it comes up, right? But it's not foregrounded. Right. And I feel like with Minerva's Den, almost no one would have actually mentioned it or, like, thought that this DLC is partially about race, except for that one place where, like, the story is the story, the person is the person, the individuals are individuals. There's this issue they have to deal with. Okay, pull back, and then it becomes part of the identity of the experience without, like, being super heavy-handed about it throughout.
And I think part of the reason that someone would, even though it makes up a fairly small percentage of the game experience, is because as soon as you start seeing pictures of Porter and Pearl and so on, and, like, you're aware that they're black people, you know that this game is set. You know when Rapture is set, like, as a player of the series. Yeah. And so I imagine for a lot of people there was this, maybe not conscious, but at least subconscious, like, waiting for that to be addressed in some way. Because how could it not be? Like, in some form or another. Yeah. Like, that's going to be something that is going to be meaningful in those characters' lives, and it's there's got to be a moment at which it's addressed. And so when it is, it's like, here I see.
Right.
I don't think I'm making it sound more like lock and key than I mean, but, like, but no, cool. I think there is something going on there where I think we expect it to be surfaced in some way, and so when it is, it's like almost a release.
Right. Yeah. And I think it would have also been a bad decision just never to talk about it.
I think it would have been very bad. I think it would have been ridiculous.
Exactly.
I think
And that's kind of what I meant. Yeah.
So I just got the charge shot. So there was a nuanced discussion of race. Also, I just got the charge shot from the laser.
Also, advanced sport boost.
Yep. Also, let me have my robot Mario shoot this guy.
Boosh! Took him out. I really like the charge shot. It's fun. It's basically like the Mega Man, charge up shot. You just charge up and you can hold it as long as you want, and then when you let it out, it's just a big blast of damage. Anyway, that kind of tension is a little bit weird and kind of funny, and also isn't a bad thing. But yeah, it's funny that race and culture and the time period and Mega Man Charge Blast. It's all there. It's all we're addressing so many different important issues. All right. Ho! Oh my! Level design?
Steve, what have you done?
You see the thing.
You gotta get to that thing.
But it's too high up there.
It's impossible.
Oh wait, but that arrow says.
Over.
But the operations manager. You mean like the guy who
does not compute logical error detection?
Oh no, your face.
That's alright. Fuck this guy.
You gotta use your face.
You're right.
It's my favorite
Give me
thing
that.
to do.
Hup.
This is my favorite thing to do in BioShock. Was to catch projectiles flying at my face and throw them back.
And especially rocket turrets are.
When we switch over to Far Cry 2, grenade comes rolling down that hill. Roll it back up. A grenade that rolls down the hill cannot be rolled back up.
I just drank a bottle of.
Classic.
I just drank a bottle of Tate Merlot, which JP will note is a reference to Dean Tate, who is the level designer on BioShock 1 and 2 at 2K Australia / Irrational Australia, and was lead designer on Dance Central? Or Dance Central 2, but I think the original Dance Central.
The original,
at Harmonix. So he's a really, really smart, really good guy.
Yeah, he's making a game that I'm doing music for.
Cool. Hey, I'm making a game that you're doing the music for.
What?
All over town.
I know. But yeah, he started at Irrational Australia when he was 17 goddamn years old. So he's been a designer in the video game industry for longer than I have been in the game industry at all. Yes, also I am 12 years old.
Dean is also just one of the nicest, most awesome guys. I love Dean.
Are you in love with Dean?
I'm in love with Dean Tate. I'm just going to say it right now.
That's weird, but it's cool.
Finally, this stream is addressing issues of sexuality that have been hinted at for so long.
I like it.
What are you doing,
sorry,
man?
I'm slapping the gravity well. It was because I was switching streams. Alright, so gravity well. It's the thing I've been looking for this whole level. It's a new plasmid for this DLC. I will swap it in for here.
When you hit it and it broke.
Wait, watch this.
Clear a room of clutter.
I like
or
the
your
little
enemy.
animation for this.
Watch them try to resist the pull of gravity well.
That's totally like Enigma's ultimate in Dota 2.
Wow. Great.
Finally confronting issues of Dota 2 beneath the surface for so long.
So this is a thing that is just a comedy physics attack, but basically it sucks in any enemies or other physics objects into a vortex and then does damage by like kicking them out and throwing them all over the place. So I'll do it to these people because I hate them. Look at them go. Yeah. Yes! It did damage to the explosive barrels that were nearby, causing them to blow up and kill the dudes that had been ragdolled. Yeah, emergent gameplay.
Emergent burned bodies.
Emergent flame play.
Oh my god.
Fuck you
Stream
both.
over.
Alright.
Okay.
Hey guys, you chilling?
Let him push you. I like that.
Alright.
Get out of here.
Alright, fine, I'm out of here. Jesus, bro. I wonder if I have enough juice to... Do I have any juice? I could... Ooh, health upgrade. I'll just do
that. That
that.
would be good for the stream.
Shut up, guy. I don't need to hear your modal training dialogue.
What was the question? The machine's
Did someone
prediction accounts for
When you
your
work on
every
a
act
certain dramatic range, you tend to think...
until you reach the thinker's core.
So, someone asked JP, how often did it happen on BioShock if you felt you shouldn't treat some subject because there's no way a shooter could explore them properly? And JP says, it happens frequently. You know, you work on something within a certain thematic range, you tend to think of things in terms of what's the thematic range. He says you don't think about a grand statement on race or something very credibly for very long if you know your video game is laser upgrades and headshots and shit.
Yeah, I mean,
I disagree with that. I mean, you're within a fictional world that has a lot of sci-fi conceits, and the things you're doing moment to moment are mechanical, combat based, etc. But the thing that makes BioShock interesting is the fact that the fictional world is more than that, and you can actually talk about things like free will or like a libertarian society and the implications of it and all that kind of stuff, while you are going through this dystopia kicking the shit out of a lot of people. I think that there's a lot more there's a lot more freedom you have to deal with that kind of stuff if there is no
hands are on fire.
I know, he's a flame brewer. They are two parallel threads within the experience, but I don't think that one necessarily invalidates the other. It's just you have to think about how to make them live together, so that it's not ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I also feel like setting out to make a grand statement about anything is generally fraught with peril.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can tell like in this story. I mean,
that guy's
sure there are like switches and mechanics, I guess, that make it a little more difficult to tell a human story. But I think if you start, if that's your goal, and themes of race, class, gender, or whatever merge without being
yeah, I mean, you have demonstrated that working on Walking Dead, where it's a zombie game, but it is worth a damn because you're talking about the people in the world, not just zombie battles or whatever. And you have to work within the frame that you have and do a good job of it.
I can see a shooter that is based around an all-black unit in World War I or II, or even the Civil War.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that could be a really interesting game.
You have to pick your battles. You have to do it right. You can't just go in from the top down and say, I'm going to make something that could never match with the core mechanics that the player is going to be doing from moment to moment. But
exactly.
But if you address it lightly enough, and appropriately enough, you can still say something worthwhile within that frame. Oh, hey, what's up?
Oh man.
Hey, how's it going?
This is actually the meta narrative of you just leaving this girl alone in this.
Do you want a high five? You want a high five? No, that's fine. Maybe you should cry some more.
God.
Ah, just kidding you. Up high. Up high. Ah. All right, I'll be back later. No, really. I'll be back later. You can't backtrack in BioShock 2. I won't be back. So Porter's going to reinforce what I should do here.
Up and over, friend. Once you toss that gravity well over the divider, the suction
Here we go.
will do the rest.
And now, doinks. And you're good.
Bingo. That's the way. We're one step closer to getting the Thinker's blueprint out of Rapture. Head down the lift to operations.
That's the first level.
Civil Twilight says, Steve is super mean to children.
Not just in video games.
Yeah. Deal with it, folks. Deal with it. I guess I should have saved or harvested that little sister, since she was just standing there. Yeah, I could have gotten the juice. Oh, well.
The juice is now just loose elsewhere.
Any splicer could just walk up there and just get the juice. Look at all that juice, they'll say.
Are we going to complete this video game?
I'm going to try. How much time do we have left?
I don't know. As long as you want. You've been going 90 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet. I can go faster.
No, it's okay. I have to leave here in a little bit, but it's okay.
Alright.
I might leave at the level break, actually. Are we at the level break?
This is going to the second level. There's 3 levels.
More, and then I have to
Operations.
it doesn't stop you.
Stick with it. Stick with it.
The readers.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
Conscious choice to not make the little sister the center of the world problem.
It was more of a question of what have we done before, how has this been addressed before, and we wanted to make a story that was about the character himself, the individual that's in the middle of the story, and not retell the little sister's moral drama that had kind of been played out in multiple ways.
Curious, I must admit.
I should go find
But
some
not
juice.
enough to let you live.
You want a juice?
Have we been going for 90 minutes, or does that include starting late?
No, that's basically the playthroughs.
Okay. I will achieve more.
No, you've been pausing him. I mean, dude, it's not. It's the journey, Steve.
No. You're who I hate. Get gravity weld. No. Oh shit, that's right. The Houdini splicers show up in this part. Can I assassinate them?
I've got a bathysphere at my lab that should be able to get us.
Oh yeah,
the
this
hell
was
out
part of
Rapture, but we
the
can't
idea
launch
was
just yet. First,
we couldn't let you
we
take your
need to
controlled bots with
reprogram
you
a
between
signal
levels.
case, Lamb's got
So
the city
the
on
first
lockdown,
enemy
but a
that you
hacked
encounter
beacon should
in
keep her torpedoes at bay.
the second level has
what you can
2
find.
bots following her around. So if you kill her,
Get him right back.
yeah, you can get back. Oh fuck! No, back in the saddle. Not that I can find them, so don't worry about it.
The technology of Minerva's
What do I need to do? Yes.
running smoothly.
Um,
Unauthorized tampering with computer equipment
Oh
is
man,
a
what's my
punishable
objective?
offense.
Is that how it works? What's a game? No, it's just a map. Fuck.
Oh, sure. Do you know JB's number
The seafloor outside Minerva's den is a machine graveyard. With a little luck, you should find the beacon we need out there.
I must keep an eye on Porter and his thinking machine. There's more than one way to muscle out a rival, and I suspect that Fontaine is vying for market dominance in
So in this part, you need to get outside to get the navigation computer from a crashed bathysphere, and then hack it to be able to. Basically, the plan that Porter has is I want to I want to get the programming for the Thinker out of Rapture, so I can get I want to get back out of Rapture, so I can get to the surface and rebuild my life's work on the surface. And so he has this plan where it's like, we'll get a bathysphere, we'll repair it, we'll hack its navigation computer, and commandeer it to get out of Rapture alive with the programming, all the schematics for the Thinker, so they can live on. Basically, he wants to get his creation out of the city. So I'm going to go
Classic
back.
tale of a man building a supercomputer under the ocean.
You wouldn't want to just leave it there.
No, man, if I build a supercomputer under the sea,
Yeah, you wouldn't want to just leave it down there.
I would be thinking about how to ballast that thing to the surface or whatever.
Exactly. So you have Dr. Tenenbaum revive a
Dr.
prototype.
Tenenbaum is one of my favorite names, by the way.
Oh no, there's a shark up there. I hope he doesn't come get me. It's alright, he's just looping an animation.
It's okay, he's low poly.
Yeah, so Tenenbaum wakes up this Big Daddy, and you get sent on a rousing adventure to get the Thinker's programming out of the city.
Make yourself at home, Sigma. Soon you also will be rusting here among the trash, used up by Porter and tossed on the heap.
So we're going to grab this guy off of this busted panel signal beacon. So now I've got it, and I need to take it into one of the programming pits.
Take the beacon to the master input console in the programming wing.
Program it.
That paranoid bastard Wall had it installed in his office.
So this is the first time you see Wall like through a window. He's in here hacking something.
Surprise, Sigma!
And he's activated these security elements that now you can see back through the window that you originally looked through. So when you come back in, you know you've got some shit to deal with. Yeah, you guys have any thoughts or questions, or is anybody else on the stream asking anything exciting?
No, they're kind of wandering around in other video games right now. They're actually streaming different video games. That's what I mean.
That's interesting.
Hilarious Cow wants to know, why aren't Americans just out in the street all day just shooting and shooting with our limitless access to guns? It's because you've made such wonderful shooters. So you
Exactly.
have outlets for these things.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Feel the need to shoot your neighbor in the face.
Exactly.
But
You don't.
because it's America.
It's all about choice, or as the Germans would say, Wahl.
Damn, callbacks.
Callback.
Oh gosh, you're a jerk too.
Steve, who is... Never mind. That's not a real question.
Oh no, I I hate fake questions. Alright, I have to hack this.
The next question that's asked, I will ask indiscriminately. Steve, how do those rockets taste?
Gross. I didn't like to eat them, but I had to. Because we designed a level and then I forgot how to play it.
Was there a reason Turing isn't more present in the backstory of the game?
Sure. I mean, I think that in a lot of cases throughout BioShock, there are figures from the time that are referenced. You know, like Churchill or Picasso is referenced in Steinman, or even FDR and his policies. That, oh shit! I died, guys! I died.
Steve died. I'm watching it on the screen. That's why I'm not commenting, because I'm watching everything happen in 10 seconds.
Oh, I see. Oh, look! These guys are waiting for me. They don't want me to come out. They don't want me to come out. So we wanted Turing to be part of the ideas behind the story, but not like a weird fanfic where now it's alternate history, like your best buds with Turing hanging out and making up a bunch of shit about
it's a buddy,
yeah, buddy comedy. Like sort of like one of your favorite games, Shadow and Colossus. We were actually really inspired by Shadow and Colossus. The character dynamic that they had, I thought, was really interesting. So I gotta get me some fucking health kits. Alright, so this area that we made, yeah, we glued a bunch of stuff together. Oh, I know what I don't know if I'll be able to. This fire brute now has a controlled electricity bot. And it's sort of like figuring out how all of the matrices could overlap, like what different things could interact with different things. Like what if a brute had a bot? What if, you know, electricity could come out of a bot, which means you could stun guys, but you can also electrocute. You can have this autonomous agent that electrocutes guys if they happen to be in water, and basically just make all of these interesting, hopefully, combinations that the player might not have thought about. Part of the game, because I think probably your biggest job, as the designer of a DLC, is to make the player feel like, even though it's an extension of a game that they have already played. Holy shit! Why did we make this game so hard? Make it feel like a new experience, you know. But you also don't have the fucking resources to make an all new game in any way whatsoever, and so. You know, you're finding these ways to make something new out of what you have. Basically, recombine a lot of stuff. That you have this palette in front of you that has not that isn't just a retread of what you know about the game when you come into it. I'm gonna use rivets for a while, including to blow up this freaking. Give me all the kits. Is there anything going on over there?
Oh wait.
Oh. Oh no.
How strong? So, Thomas Bousquet asks, how strong is the constraint to maintain the Minerva's canon and continuity in Minerva's Den?
We definitely wanted to be, you know, we didn't want to break anything, you know, about what people already knew about what Rapture was, you know, or who the characters were, what their motivations were. The idea, you know, like in the mechanic, you know, the mechanics is what I was just talking about, being basically like recombining and adding to stuff, but also in the fiction, the idea is to be additive and to increase the breadth of what people know about the city, and say, here's a new thing that you haven't discovered before. that makes you aware of more of the scope of what's going on in this place, but not to say, oh, actually, this guy that you thought you knew what his identity was, it was actually different for our purposes because it's more convenient for us. So, like, the existing fiction was definitely a constraint that we took seriously, because if you think you can just willy-nilly change stuff that people have come to expect, then I don't know. You're not. I think you're going a little bit off script. I'm not going to listen to that because I already know. We did a little bit more puzzly stuff in the second level just for some variety, but like the code for this thing, if you listen to Audio Diary, it says the books on the shelf are the code. So there are these two books. It's 2, 3, 4, 1. You have to open this up to hack the thingy.
Is the math on the ground there any backstory to that?
I believe that they are like string theory kind of stuff. They're equations that we found online that point towards like a theory of everything, you know. But they are the craziness of Wall. They're a twisted version of it that, you know, he's trying to. The central conflict between Wall and Porter is one of, you know, wanting to control this technology that Porter created, and Wall basically like pushing him out of power to take over. And the thing that he wants to do with that is come up with this theory that only the computational power of the thinker is capable of unraveling.
Good. It's all hooked up. I can run the hack sequence from here.
So I plug my little signal beacon into there. Wait for it. Wait for it. Ding ding.
There's a lot of sparks in Rapture. You notice that? A lot of like wanton use of electricity for an underwater city.
There's a lot of poorly insulated wiring mixed with some very leaky windows.
I feel as if had Rapture just had one decent like electrician who was like just did everything, you know, by the book, up the code. Fall Rapture would have never happened.
The hack turned out right. You are not proud.
Oh, you're right. Oh, totally. Wow.
Bureaucratic.
Big government, get out the way!
Yeah.
Jesus, sorry, thanks, Obama.
Yeah, surprisingly, BioShock from the game released in 2007, secretly about Obama.
What worries you with Sophia Lamb's torpedoes? Ah, he fills your head with foolish visions.
Well, you're the boss in Infinite.
I can provide you more immediate concern.
It's like a crazy, like, old-timey...
Yeah, I stopped working on it, you know, before that was finalized. Could be.
Like
Could
Obama was like a city boss.
Oh, you mean like Robo Hitler? Is it like from Wolfenstein, except that it's Robo-Obama. Actually, that's the name, Robo-Obama.
Roswell 47 asks, no gods, no kings, only Biden. I approve of that game.
He asks that? Are you saying there's a question mark on the end?
No gods, no kings, Biden, who is actually both of those things.
I must admit, you did turn me on to the glory of Biden, Sean. My understanding of Biden was minimal before you showed me the light. Now I know.
It's a deep tunnel. Come in.
Well, that picture.
I think honestly, like if somebody said, "Okay, you can have lunch with Obama or Biden,"
you would know what your answer was.
I would say Biden, although that would kill me. But I think I would just have a better lunch with Biden. Like, the Obama lunch would be transcendent, you know, it would be amazing. And just such an opportunity. But I think when it comes to just, like, I'm going to have a good lunch, a 2-martini lunch, even though he's a teetotaler.
2, 3, 4 martini lunch.
You know, that lunch could go till 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening with that.
I can feel the sunlight already.
Get out of here.
Machine code the central
where do you end up?
Take it to the surface.
There's a really good wing spot.
I would be unsurprised.
All the waitresses sugar.
Computer core access.
And they like it.
I like your Biden.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of the Onion's Biden. It's also just a little bit Biden. It's a little bit Sean. Alright, so I've gotten my security beacon hacked.
Oh my goodness!
So, speaking of hacking... Here is one of the later enemies from BioShock 2, which is basically a prototype like you are, that has been essentially turned to the side of, in the case of BioShock 2, Lamb's cause. In the case of Minerva's Den, Wall has essentially taken control of these guys. But I can use my fucking heat laser to set him on fire. Because frankly, fuck this guy.
He just showed up like a douche, in the manner of a douche. She just opened that door and...
Douche style.
Yeah, no question. Hello, brother, Big Daddy.
Yeah, he doesn't care that we've kind of got a, you know. He's like, oh, you went to Big Daddy school too? No, nothing. No cordiality. Can I get you to run through this shit, pal? There we go.
Big Daddies refer to each other as big bros.
I think, well, they're all the same size basically. So I'm guessing, you know, bro.
Just bro.
Bro.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. You know, you speed it up and it's just, hey, bro.
Yeah.
I forget. Have you guys played through this before?
Me?
Yeah. Well, you and Sean Vanneman.
I definitely.
Famous. It's okay.
I'm the worst. It's on my 360. My 360 is current.
Did you see? Did the 360 break?
I think the one I have now is fine, but it broke. And I had it on Minerva's Den, it broke, and then I got it at 360 and kind of got back.
I see.
Ruined my mojos.
It's alright. You can just watch it on this sweet stream.
This has been awesome. I've also seen stuff that I didn't see when I was playing it.
And I'm rapidly approaching. I know a little bit about these levels, so I'm getting through this guy pretty quick, and then the wrap up, the story wrap up. The third level, there is like a boss fight in it, but the biggest thing is basically a non-combat exploratory area where you find out more about Porter and the Thinker and his wife. And
so someone asked, did you reuse any unused level layouts from BioShock 2, or was all the level design?
All the level design was it was all new.
Only way we're going to make it to the Thinker.
We didn't we didn't have any like layouts lying around that we had said, oh, we should really get our hands on that. And honestly, I think that it's a lot. It's in a lot of ways it's a lot harder to reuse something like part of a layout and be tied to that than to just say, you know, we know what we want to do with this place and we'll just build to that specification, you know, because when you get to a spot where you're like, oh yeah, I like this, there's an upgraded drill that's through this guy.
The chat is completely devolved. It's a mess in there.
No. Well, good thing I got this sweet video game to play.
Yeah.
Hey, look, a vacuum bot. Because yeah, when you're like, well, we know what we want to make, but we have to use those 30 square feet of room over here and this one layout here. It's like, well, how do we glue everything else that we know we want to make onto that? And yeah, we started from scratch as far as layout and all that stuff goes. And so yeah, basically the idea here is that Wall put the Thinker's cooling mechanism into overdrive, and all of the splices a lot of the splices that were trapped in here got frozen solid.
It's really cool that you're able to it's sort of like that's something we've seen before in BioShock, but to put it in service of the core. Of the things at the core of the story is awesome.
Right, yeah, it's one of these things where, you know, we thought of Minerva's Den in a lot of ways as the inside, like especially as you get down into operations, as the insides of a computer. So there's like the CPU and the cooling mechanism, you know, and the RAM, you know, where all the data is stored. As you go through, you're kind of going through the insides of the machine itself.
Classic underneath the enemy.
So you go up and you see that guy. If you're watching,
observant.
Yes.
Player.
If you look up, which FPS players don't do, if you look up,